Bob Georgiou with Remax Accord here, coming to you with another vlog about real estate buying and selling. Before I talk about the 3 ways to sell a property, I need to talk about value and what the meaning of value actually is. When it comes to discussing value, it means different things to different people, and agents typically broad brush across an actual discussion of what it is because with buyers and sellers, what they want to know is, on the sell side, how much are they going to get for their property, and on the buy side, how much are they going to have to pay to get into a house. And that means different things to different people. To an appraiser, it means one thing. To an agent, it means another. To an uninterested party, it may mean something completely different. To an investor, it means something completely else. So as agents, we typically broad brush over this, get right to the point of the discussion, and we talk about how to sell the property and how to manage. As I said in the last video, listing price is a marketing tool, and that places your home in competition with all the other available homes in a regional market, depending on whatever buyers and sellers are particularly looking for. Again, it means different things to different people. The Oakland buyer might not go to Walnut Creek. They may be interested in Pleasant Hill. The South Bay buyer may not go as far as Danville, but they'll definitely look at San Ramon or Dublin. Other people who are in the specific markets, Pleasant Hill, Walnut Creek, Danville, San Ramon markets, they may be willing to, have a completely different sense of, may have a completely different perception of what value means on every given house. And this goes to exactly how you place your home in the market in order to attract the right buyer or seller, or conversely for buyers, how you compare homes from house to house and determine which house is of value after you find one that meets all your needs. So buying or selling a home is always a competition, and that also goes into the impact on a home's value, whether it being paid by a buyer or being extracted by a seller. And the people who perform the best are the ones, obviously, who are willing to do what it takes to compete in the property, and they typically fare better than those that throw their house on the market. And this goes directly to the agent's responsibilities of selling a property versus his agent responsibilities, and we'll talk about that we'll touch base on that in another video. But when it comes to the 3 ways to sell a home, the discussion of each different way to sell it varies depending on the offering. Think about it this way. If you have a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home that was built in the 50s that has been modernized to the most that can be, and compare that to a home that was, say, in the 80s or 90s that is in the same price point but same condition, you can see that the impact on value from one person to another is going to be different. This is just common sense. So in the end, the value of your property is what a ready, willing, and able buyer is willing to pay for your property and what that property closes at the end of your transaction. The value of your home is also dependent on the time of year you sell, the reason you're selling, the conditions of the market, the interest rates, the inventory, and a bunch of different factors that are fully out of the buyer's and seller's control at the time you decide to put a house on the market. The value of the home is also going to differ on an appraisal and the reason for doing an appraisal on the property. For example, a property that could be upzoned to commercial is going to have a different value of the house across the street from it that doesn't have the exact same amenity where you're able to upzone the property from a residential house to a commercial property. The same thing goes for 2 different homes on the same street that are across the way that have the same floor plan. Different color carpeting, different color kitchens, different materials used, the age of the updates, and the way the sun hits the property, the front yard, the backyard. 2 identical houses, quote unquote, that may be identical to just anybody who randomly looks at it, are going to have different variations in value depending on what each buyer looks for and how they were raised and what their value sets are, and a whole bunch of other things. For example, Asian buyers typically look for feng shui in a home. An example, if one of the homes has the feng shui qualities and the other one doesn't, the one home is going to attract more value from that particular buyer pool in the market in general, because they're going to be able to attract more buyers out of the people who are out there in the market. Take another for instance, in the spring versus in the winter. In the spring, you just have a larger buyer pool who are competing for properties in the market relative to the holidays, when people are out of the market, they're more focused on family, friends, and Christmas, and they may be taking a hiatus from October till after January, after the new year begins, when they'll go back into the market. The buyer pool is clearly smaller, and if you're looking for a little bit of a value, you can typically see this in the market. One of the challenges we have is in January is on the nicer, higher properties, higher quality properties, they sometimes have an issue appraising, and that is due to a lack of inventory or low pricing in November and December, which typically drags the price of properties down. When we get to my blog on appraisals, I'll give you a couple stories that are right on this point, and we'll discuss that more further at that time. So conceptually, value is a fluid thing, and it varies based on a number of different factors that are constantly in flux. And when it comes to buying or selling a property, keep an open mind on what the exact value of your home or what of your purchase is, because it just is going to depend on things that are completely out of our control. This is Bob George, you for RE/MAX Accord. Like, subscribe, or share this video if you like the content. I'm going to be producing more and more of these now that I've kind of got my footing and where the direction I'm headed on these. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next vlog.